Hi everyone, it's Jill Foster here, and I'm so excited to be giving you a closer look at all of the new stamps and creative dies that are part of our newest collection called Dreaming. And before I begin, I just wanted to mention that all of these new products are now available in our online store. I do apologize, we're still working on getting the bugs worked out with the search function, but if you click on the new button over on the left-hand sidebar as shown up here on screen, you can find all of these products, and I will link to our online store down in the YouTube description box below. And to start with, to look at all of these new products, I thought we'd start with the sentiments so that you can see those and sort of notice them on the cards throughout all of the video. So this first sentiment set is called Huggable, and as you can see, I've already used mine a lot and I just love this set. You can mix and match the different words and sentiments in here. So you can say things like hugs to a friend who has given me every reason to smile. Your hugs are my favorite. You're a great friend. You're so huggable. A hug, sending a hug, hope you felt the squeeze. The best gift you can give is a hug. So you can really play around with and get lots of different sentiments from this. You can stamp different parts of the sentiment in different colors because they are split up into different words, and they're just great to send anytime you want to send hugs, which is often when you're making handmade cards. It's fun to just send them for no reason at all except to send a hug. This next set is called Beautiful Heart, and it has a great variety of sentiments that you can use all year long. Wishing you a lifetime of love and happiness. There's nothing as beautiful as a giving heart. A beautiful scripty happy birthday. Very thankful for you. Best wishes in all you do. A wonderful day to celebrate you. Big hugs for my special friend. As you can see, you can use that for lots of different occasions. And then this is a miniature 3x4-inch transparent set called Strength. Great for encouragement, wishing you strength, wishing you hope, wishing you peace, wishing you comfort. So you can mix and match those different things. Where words fall short, I'm hoping this hug can fill in. Missing you, you may be far away, but you're always in my thoughts. So just really some lovely sentiments within those sets. So now we'll take a look at some more stamps and dies, but I'll also show you lots of different cards now that I've made with a variety of all these different stamps and dies and those sentiments that you just saw. So first, let's take a look at these stamps that really are around the theme of bear hugs. So this first miniature 3x4-inch transparent set is called A Big Hug, and it does have an exact match die available. And I just love the face on this little bear. He's so cute. His arms are open wide, ready to give a hug. So I made tons of cards with him. This first one is just a very simple one-layer card. I just stamped him and painted him in and added one of those huggable sentiments. Here's a hug, and just hand drew a border around. Here I made it a little bit more elaborate. You can see I've colored him and cut him out and then layered him with some of our dies. Again, I used that new huggable sentiment set. Your hugs are my favorite. This is actually my favorite card with this little guy. Just hand trimmed that hill and added some other stamped and die cut pieces behind, and once again used that huggable sentiment set. I just cannot get enough of that set. And if you're looking for all of the different products that were used on each of these cards, on our blog during the week of July 1st through the 5th, we will show all of these cards with every product used on each card listed and linked to our online store for you. Here is a look at the next set called Bear Cuddle. I love how they're just looking off in the distance, and I again made tons of cards with this. The first is just a very simple card like that first one I did with the other bear set. Stamped and painted in, hand drew a border, and then stamped the sentiment up at the top. This one's a bit more elaborate. Now it looks like when you stamp these that they're on a pillow, but if you color it green and kind of tuck it behind in a hill, or like I've done here in this circle die, it can also look like they're sitting on grass or sitting outside. Here you can see another example of that where I've just colored that, used the exact match die to cut it out, and then layered it onto a background and added one of those sentiments from the Strength sentiment set. This is called Possum Present, and it also has an exact match die available, and I love that you can stamp that little pole and die cut that out separately. So you can use this bear with that, like pull and open that bow, or you can just use it without. And I've made a couple of cards with him. Here I matched him up with another of our critters. I like the way it kind of looks like he's looking down at that mouse and the cupcake. And that bow is such fun to color. And then here's one where I've used the little pull tag on there. And you could use that to do something, if you would like to do interactive cards, that would also be fun. And a big bear hug for you sentiment. We have another really adorable bear stamp. This is another 3x4 inch transparent set called A Present. And this has an exact match die, and as a little bonus, this exact match die also comes with a sentiment die for you. And I'll just give you a look here at what that looks like cut out. There are the pieces, so that's what that looks like cut out. You can get a better look at that. And I'll just slide these out of the way and give you a look now at a card that I've made with that stamp. I added some balloons from another stamp set of ours, a couple of flowers down at the bottom, and just popped them inside of a frame. And just a really happy card. Would be great. You could use it for birthday or even, I think, a new baby. That would be a fun one. And then our last cute bear set, this is called Tea Party. I love the way that this bear is positioned, so you could cut him out and put him with lots of different things kind of leaning up against different things. You can have him sitting with the cupcakes and tea that are part of the set. Here where I kind of fussy cut those out and layered them to create a little scene, and then used a little piece and some dies up at the top. And next we'll take a look at some of our new happy hedgies. I just love the look of these hedgies. They are so cute and happy and hanging out with their little bear friend, and you'll get a peek here of what these look like. This first set is called Birthday BFF, and you can see how stinking cute these are. I love how that little guy is just peeking out from the present behind the bear. He looks very hungry for that cake. And then this one where the bear is kind of leaning back with the hedgie is just so fun. I've made tons of cards with this set. This first one is actually my favorite. I wanted them to be sort of throwing up some confetti, so I just trimmed some very small paper scraps and glued those around them. Here's that cute little guy who wants to eat his cake. I just colored that and fussy cut that out and then added it with our wood floors die to look like the table. Here's another one of those very simple one-layer cards with the hand-drawn border. If you love to just make some very simple cards, very cute, quick and easy to do. Here's that same stamp done with a few more layers and some fussy cutting and trimming, putting some flowers behind. And then these stamps are also really fun to do with the no-line watercolor technique. I think it gives them just a sweet sort of storybook look to them. So here's one I've made from this set with that style, and I have a couple more of those to show you too. Now this is another adorable set called Hedgie Harmony. If you have any music lovers, this is a great set. Also great for lots of different occasions. Let's rock, just a note, birthdays. There's tons of different ways that you can use these cute little guys. Also has some music notes that you can stamp individually or use on your background. So here's the first card I've done with these guys, colored them and fussy cut them out. They're very easy to cut out, and then added them with some of our dies and just a note sentiment. Here's another one. This is with our new die cut called You're a Star, and I just added the rock star and the symbols, and just added him kind of sitting on there on this tag. This one, Hey You, Let's Rock. I think if you did this in more blues, it would also be great for a little boy or even a teenager type card for a birthday. And then here's that no-line watercoloring look, just to give that a sort of a storybook quality. Super fun to color, super easy to do too. And then we have a miniature 3x4 inch transparent set called Hedgie Presents. These are really cute to combine in different ways. You can have them looking at each other, all lined up in a row, headed to a party. I think you could also use these for Christmas if you had them going up like a snowbank or a hill. Here I've popped them inside of our new Stitch Circles frame, and I'll give you a closer look at that too. Just colored them and fussy cut them out and popped them in there. They're so cute, fun to color. Here I've used them with our huggable sentiment set because I think it just looks like they're running towards each other with a hug. I've added just a tiny little flower die cut to embellish her. And then one more of that no-line watercoloring technique, giving that kind of a storybook look, and I've just added a flower there, die-cut flower to his hand. So this new release, this Dreaming release, also has some beautiful, elegant flowers and feathers. We have a great bird stamp that's a part of this release. So we'll take a look at these stamps. This transparent set is called Flower Collection, and if you love floral stamps, this is a fantastic set. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 really great predominant, bold, focal point images and a lovely sentiment with it as well. And there's lots of different ways to use these stamps. So here's another one of those very simple cards, and I've done that with one of the floral stamps now. This also is from the sentiment is from that huggable sentiment. So another way you can sort of mix and match those sentiments. Here I've done a long card. This actually fits inside of a legal size envelope, like the one that bills come in. This would be much more fun to receive in the mail. And here I've colored that collection of flowers and fussy cut it out and just added it onto an inked background. This is that same stamp, that those flowers are the same. I've just stamped them going off of the edge so they have more of just a sort of a garden look, and colored them in different colors just to give it more variety. And then again, that huggable sentiment in there, did some paper tearing and sort of rolling down of those edges. And then here I've used that Stitch Circles die and cut out this flower that's a part of that flower collection set and kind of popped it in. And that's another great thing about this stamp set of flowers. There's so many different styles. You have the bouquet, you have the single stem, you have the grouping. Here I've mixed and matched some of those around the perimeter of my card and then watercolored that in. Here I've done some colored pencils on toned gray paper with a white embossed sentiment. This is that really lovely vase and flower collection there. Next we have some cling stamps. This one, I'm sorry, you can't quite see the image very well here. I have a prototype stamp, so it's not printed on the back. But once you see the card here, this will make sense. It is the most cute, happy, beautiful bird. This one is called Dreaming. And again, one of those very simple cards with the outline border and just watercolored in. The Wishing You Hope sentiment is from the Strength set. And here's another, just a little bit different look here. I colored with Copic markers and fussy cut that out and layered it onto a watercolor and inked background. And then this is my favorite card. This is another one of colored pencils on a toned gray paper with a white heat embossed sentiment from that huggable sentiment set. You get a lot of different looks just with that one bird. We have another elegant cling stamp. This is called Bliss. Here's what those flowers look like when they are stamped down. Here I've watercolored them in and just very simply kind of painted a background around those leaves and up near the blooms. And then here I've turned the stamp so it's kind of coming down from the top on tone grade paper with colored pencils. Very simple, pretty easy to do. That flower colors quickly because there's not any large expanses to color, just pretty small areas. Now I'm super excited about this part of the Dreaming collection. We have 9 fantastic scenic stamps. These are so fun to work with. Before we look at them, this is one other sentiment I saved until now. It's called Destination Sentiments. It's great with these scenic stamps. Trust the magic of new beginnings, the journeys, the destination. My favorite color is sunset. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. A journey is best measured in friends rather than miles. Let's go somewhere the sun kisses the ocean. These sentiments are so fantastic to use with these scenic stamps. Great to send in the summer. These are also great stamps for masculine cards, for birthdays, thinking of you. So let's take a look at them. The first one is called Paradise. They're a nice large cling size. I'm going to show you a couple of cards with each, and I'm so excited to say I have videos for all of these scenic stamps and the cards you're going to see with these scenic stamps, and that will be coming very soon, showing you different techniques in using them, some more watercolor techniques and some more ink blending techniques. They're really not difficult to use. You really feel like an artist when you're working with these. They're even great for beginners. So don't be scared of these. They're so fun to work with and really kind of a breath of fresh air in your stamping. If you've been doing a lot of flowers or critters, these are really fun to kind of stretch yourself a little bit. Now, this first card, the purplish one, is a standard size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The second card is slightly smaller than a 5 by 7. So even though these are large, you can do your standard size cards or the larger 5 by 7 with them. This stamp is called Homeward. I love the perspective of that road and that gorgeous tree. Here's a more watercolor style card done with that, and then one done with ink blending and some embossing. You can see the shine there of that embossing. Like I said, technique videos are coming for all of these cards that you're seeing here, for the scenic stamping cards. I love the different looks you can get, the different styles, and there's lots of different ways to play around with your color schemes, and especially your skies with these if you want to give them a totally different look. This one is called Wanderlust. Again, it has that awesome perspective of the road heading back, curving around, and here are a couple cards with that. And this is my favorite. I love the bright colors and how fun it was to do the ink blending on this. And let's see, the next one we're going to take a peek at is Sweet Sails. Now you can use these, and I'll show in the videos where you can use them to create the whole scene, but like for example on this stamp you could actually just use the tree if you only use a stamp positioning tool and only inked up the tree and that hill. So you can get a lot of variety from these stamps too. The first there you saw was the more watercolor style, and here the more ink blending. Next is Ocean Breeze. And this is a scene I wish I was actually at. It looks so relaxing and peaceful. Here you can see where the sentiment from that destination sentiments is so perfect used with these. This one says the journey is the destination. This one again is more ink blending and even a little bit of marker coloring on that. Here is a really unique one. This is called Desert Dreams. And I used to live in the desert, so I was so excited to see the desert included in these scenic stamps. Here is the more watercolor style, and again on the standard size note card, A2 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then used on a larger size card, little bit smaller than a 5 by 7. This stamp is called Calm Waters, with these canoes, sort of the mountainside and the water as part of that scene. I've done a softer watercolor version here, all one layer. And then here I've done the ink blending and then trimmed this down. So both of these cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So by trimming them down, mounting them in different ways, you can give them different looks as well. This is called Escape, and to me this stamp has a really beautiful elegance to it. I love the trees and the little sliver of water that you see in the distance. Again, great for lots of different occasions that you can use it for: encouragement, sympathy, masculine cards. And here's a totally different look where I've done some ink blending, some dark stamping in the foreground, created a bit of a sunset, and then trimmed down just to spotlight a portion of that image. And then this stamp is called Country Life. Again, really great perspective there with that fence moving into the background. You can do a lot of different things with the sky in this one too. I've done a watercolor technique or style with this one, and then more of the ink blending done on this second version. Now that's not all. We do have more stamps and dies as part of this Dreaming collection. Here we'll take a look at some critters and some more characters. This next set is a 3 by 4 inch transparent set called Happy Heights. These giraffes are so cute. You can use them for lots of different occasions, birthday, hello, thinking of you. Also would be great for new baby or cards for kids. This is another one of those tall cards that fits in a legal size envelope. It was really fun to play around with this different size and the different layouts you can get with that. So you'll see a couple more cards with this size here, and I've just got these giraffes sort of poking out from the sides, and again using that huggable sentiment in the middle. This is called Little Angel. She's so adorable. Also has some really fun little sentiments that go with her. You're an angel, mommy's little angel, our little angel, daddy's little angel, little cutie. Again, fun for cards for kids. Here I did You're So Huggable and then added the little cutie sentiment. Just colored her and fussy cut her out and added her to an inked background with some die cut clouds. And then this is called Ballet Beauty. Just a very touching image. It also has For a Very Special Girl included as a sentiment. And this is another one of those tall cards. And Let Your Dreams Take Flight and a couple of butterflies. I just feel like that turned out so elegant. Now we do have a few standalone dies, and you've seen a peek at some of those as we looked at some of these other cards, but I wanted to give you a close-up look at these to see what they look like, how they work. The first is Stitch Circles. I am so in love with this. It is a set of dies. What's fun is your cut line is going to be in the center, and your stitching is actually going to go outside of the cut line. So here you can see when you run that through your die cutting machine, you cut the center out and then the stitching goes around the outside, and there's a variety of different stitching styles. So each circle you get a different stitching style, so you can mix and match and play with those together. It's really beautiful the way that stitching looks when it starts curving around in a circle. So here's a smaller one, and you can see it's a little bit different stitching line. What's fun is you can also layer these on top of each other. So here I've done it in white on white. I think it'd be fun to do a layered card where you did like the colors of the rainbow. Just a lot of different ways you can do it. Here I ran it through my die cutting machine 3 times, the same size circle, and I could create this little peekaboo effect. And you have the control of adding that exactly where you want it on your card. Here I've layered a couple of circles and then also ran it through the die cutting machine a couple of times. I popped one up with foam tape so I could create like a little area to pop in or slide in these flowers. And here is the largest one. You can see this is a standard A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this gives you an idea of the size of the circles as well. Next we have a great stitched frame set. This is called our Leaf Stitched Frames. And what's great with this set, you get a lot of different sizes. I think the stitching on this is beautiful enough that you notice it, but you can use it with cute or elegant cards. It does not take away from the main image. If you run one die through in your die cutting machine at a time, you can create a full panel. You can cut a full panel. Or if you run 2 together at the same time, then you can cut a frame. So you can get different usage out of these if you like the panels or the frames. I love to just cut a whole bunch at once, and I keep them all in an envelope ready to go whenever I need them for a card. I find I reach for these kind of frames a lot when a card just needs just a little something extra to finish it off. So, and then here's just a closer look at what that stitching detail looks like. It's so pretty, really elegant, not too over the top though. And some cards I've made. Here I've added it to that toned gray paper, and I did just a little masking there and inking to accentuate that stitching. Here is where I've used that as a bright white element with a toned gray paper and colored pencils on the toned gray paper, and I really like how that sort of livens up these cards and ties into the white embossing. Done a couple of different sizes here to give you an idea of the look of those. The next die is called Garden Edgers. I'm really excited that we have added this to our line. It works so great with so many of the different critters and character stamps, or with your florals if you want to just have this as an edger and some of the other floral stamps kind of coming up like a garden. It has two different edgers. You can layer them together or use them individually, but they do work well together. And let me just slide those out of the way and give you a look at some cards. Here I've layered them, so I've done the more grass one in the front and then the more of the leaves look in the back. It is just a great way to ground any type of image you're using on your card, especially if you're doing kind of a clean and simple card like that and you need a place to stick those critters, somewhere for them to stand. Here I've used the same grass die but just layered it for a little bit of dimension. And then this next is our You're a Star. And you get the star word, and then also it cuts that star piece. And I love that it is all one piece, makes it really easy to use. Works great with the rock star images. Also would work great with You're a Star for like the ballerina, or that star up in the sky for those bears that are sitting on the pillow like they're looking off in the distance. I think it would work great for that. This next one is our String of Stars. And here I've layered a couple of those tone on tone in my background. Just a great finishing touch for any type of card you're doing. And here I've made a more of the focal point on the card and even added one, trimmed one apart and added it to her hand. So those are all of the new stamps and dies, part of our new Dreaming collection. I'd love to know what your favorites are, so please leave us a comment below. And again, these all are available in our online store. Just click on the new section over on the left-hand side and you can take a closer look at all of those. And I thank you so much for watching. Remember, you can continue to connect with Penny Black here on YouTube, also on our Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter, and our blog and website as well. And I'll link to all of that for you down in the YouTube description box below. Happy stamping!